Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to a new tutorial with PSDBox. I'm Andrei and today I'm going to show you how to transform this image into this. I'm going to show you a really cool trick of color matching using channels and a really simple technique. And you can see the hair over here. We're not going to do any kind of masking. So we will get this without making any kind of masking. So that's what we're going to see in this tutorial. I hope you will like it and let's get started. So we're gonna start by opening the stock folder, and this is the image that we're gonna start working with. I'm gonna group everything here, so I'm gonna start creating the effect again. So the first thing we want to do is create a copy of our model, and for this technique to work, you need an overexposed sky, and it will work a lot better. So this will be our copy, and the first thing I want to do is create a new sky here, and I'm gonna open the stock folder, and I tried with several images, and this one seemed to look better for my taste, but you can use pretty much any other sky. It depends on what kind of effect you want, and I chose this one. So I'm gonna open this one. I got this from unsplash.com, and it's a free image. You can use it for commercial purposes as well. I'm gonna give you the link to it if you wanna if you use it and you want to give credit. And I'm going to make it a bit bigger, and what I want to do is flip it horizontally because I want the sunlight to be on this side of her head. And what I'm going to do now is, because the sky is overexposed, I'm going to use the multiply blend mode, and check that out. This is how the new sky will look like. You can try with darken as well. In some situation, it might work better than this. You can see that here on the hair it looks better, but on the edges it doesn't look that bad, that good. So I'm going to use multiply instead of darken. And now I'm going to move it higher up. I want to match the horizons over here, so about there. And I'm going to change the blend mode back to normal for a second because I want to get rid of this wave over here, because I don't like how it looks like. And I'm gonna get the clone stamp tool. Let's choose apply and just sample from there and paint. I have to increase the opacity and flow and do it again. And let's get another bit from over there, and that's it. Okay, now with that masked over there, I'm gonna put the blend mode back to multiply. And what we need to do now is create a layer mask and use the gradient tool. Make sure you have black to white. Black to white, for some reason, I don't know, it's not black over there. Black to white. And I'm going to create a gradient to create a transition about there, something like that. We're going to refine this after we color match both images. On this one, which is my copy, I'm gonna name it edited. I'm gonna use the clone stamp as well because I want to get rid of this boat, of this ship over here. Oops, like that. And we're good to go. Now, for the head here, we'll have to use the brush tool. Take a look, you don't have to mask the hair. In this case, we're a bit lucky that the hair is really dark, but if you have blonde hair, you might have to make some touch-ups, but for this kind of hair is perfect. So I'm going to use the brush tool and just brush away what I don't need here. I have the brush set to 50 and 50, the opacity and the flow, and you just have to be a bit careful right over there. And we're good to go. Just a bit more over here. Like that. And I'm gonna drop the opacity and the flow even more to 50 and flow 20. And I'm just gonna paint back some of the effect. Let's activate the transfer. and just try to have a really smooth transition over here, over the hair, like that. And here with black, I'm gonna remove this part over there and paint back some of the effect over there. Now, we're good to go. Now, the next thing we want to do is match the color of the woman and the sky. And there's one thing I want to do here. Using the multiply blend mode, you can see some of the clouds here are visible through the image. So what I'm going to do is, you can use a new layer if you want. I'm going to use this. I'm going to paint destructively here with the brush tool. I'm going to sample a color from here and just paint over that to have a uniform color, like that, so that those clouds are not visible over the image, or at least to be less visible, something like that. And here as well. Okay, and now let's reactivate that, and that way we don't see those clouds. Take it before and after. It looks a bit better. Now let's work with the channel. I'm going to show you a trick to color match both images, the sky and the woman and the water. So what we're going to do is choose the edited image. You can create a new copy if you want, but it's not necessary. And the first thing you want to do is activate the navigator. You can do that from window and choose navigator. And what we're going to do next is expand this like that and expand it like that, so we see a big image like the one you see here, even bigger. Because once we are in the channels, we'll no longer be able to see this. So select the edited image and go to channels. And you can see that now when you select each of the channels, you no longer see the RGB. That's why we need the navigator. So what we're going to do now is select each channel and change the balance of color to match the sky. And it's really easy. We're going to start with the red channel, and this will actually help us, the image here on the canvas on the left side. So I'm going to press Ctrl-Command-L to open the levels and just start moving the sliders here. Now, when you're on the red channel, you'll work with the red and the cyan. So if you want to add cyan, just move the midtones maybe, if you want to work on the midtones, to the right. And if you want to add on the highlights, you have to work with this one, with this slider, to add red if you move it to the left. And if you move this to the left, here you will add cyan on the highlights. Now, this will only affect this bottom layer, okay? So, this layer over here, the edited one. So I'm gonna reset this and start editing it. So I want to add more red here, something like that. Maybe more cyan on the shadows and the midtones. We're gonna add more red there, a bit more red on the shadows. And let's not touch that one there. I'm going to click OK, and now I'm going to go to the green channel. Now on the green channel, I'm going to press Ctrl-Command-L as well. And here we're going to work with the green and with its opposite, which is magenta. So if I move the midtone to the left, I get green. And if I move it to the right of one, I'm going to get magenta. So let's do some editing here as well. Okay, something like that, and click OK. And now let's go to the blue channel. And here we're gonna see a big difference because the dominant color here is yellow, and on the blue channel you will work with the blue and with its opposite, which is yellow. So I'm gonna add some yellow on the highlights, on the shadows, sorry, something like that. And here, and you can see the change. And I want to have more yellow on the image, so I'm gonna click OK here and go to the green channel because I want to add some more magenta. So I'm gonna press Ctrl-Command-L again and add more magenta. This will get us this. This will give us this orangey tone. on the image. And now on the red, I'm gonna add more cyan on the image, like so. And let's not touch the highlights, something like that. One advice in this particular image, it's probably better if you start with the blue channel. So as a rule of thumb, you should start with the channel that is predominant on your image. So if you're working on an image that is really, let's say green, you will start with the green channel. If it has a lot of magenta and you want to match the color on magenta, you start with that channel, with the green. So that's it. Let's select the RGB and go to the layers, and now we can make this smaller again. Let's move that up. And you can see that now the colors match a lot better. This is what this was before, and this is the after. Now, maybe the skin is a bit too dark. You can fix that using a curves adjustment or a hue saturation and desaturate the sky and then use a layer mask. It really depends on the kind of editing you want to do. I'm gonna create some curves like that. Let's zoom out so I can see the whole image. And I'm just looking at the face right now. I want to brighten things up a bit like that, and probably on the blue channel I'm gonna add some blue to the face. I'm gonna mask this, so don't worry about it. It's affecting the whole image, but I'm gonna mask it like that. Okay, and with the RGB, I'm gonna retouch this a little more. And now I'm gonna invert the layer mask with Control-I, and I'm gonna paint back on the face with 50 and 40 opacity and flow. And well, the skin and the face. So I'm gonna just paint back that effect caused created by the curves that I just created. Maybe a bit here on her shirt as well. If you want some of that effect to be visible over the whole image, let me activate it on full screen so you can see it. Now, the effect is only visible on this area. All of this background here is not affected by the curves. But if you want to affect that, you can double click and decrease the density of it. And you can see that now that turns into, well, this shade of gray, which means some of the effect passes through the layer mask. So I'm going to leave it to about 90. Well, 90 it's okay. Okay, so take a look before and after. The face is now a lot more illuminated, and you can change the colors using the channel. So some knowledge of the layer of how this channels work is necessary, but it's not really that difficult. I have beginner tutorials on psdbox.com. You can get them for free, so you can watch them there. Okay, something like that. Okay, so let's move on now and create. Of course, here you can create, for example, a gradient map if you want to affect the whole image. I don't know. Let's create that one, and I don't know, use it on soft light maybe at 10% or something like that. And of course, if you take a look at the original effect, I also added dodge and burn, and you can download the PSD file and take a look at how that was made. But the principle was this one. I'm going to create the light over there. I'm going to create a new layer and set it on screen. And with the brush tool, I'm going to create a glow of light over there. I'm going to start with the dark tone of orange, like so. And let's make sure we don't have transfer activated, and just click once over there. Maybe something a bit brighter. The brighter the effect, the more visible will be on the image. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to make it even brighter. Make the brush a bit smaller, click again. Now even brighter and more desaturated. Make the brush smaller, click again. And now something really bright for the center spotlight, like that. And you can see the light there. Now I'm going to create a stamp with Shift Alt Command E or Shift Alt Control E on a Mac. on a PC, sorry. And I'm going to turn this into a smart object and use the camera raw filter. Now, if you don't have Photoshop CC, you will not see the camera raw filter over here. So what you have to do is go to File, Save As, and choose TIFF as your saving format. So choose from here, not IFF, choose TIFF and save it in that format, and then open it back in Photoshop. But make sure you deactivate layers because otherwise it will open it as a regular PSD file. So uncheck layers and then open it in camera raw. It will open it by default if you save it as a TIFF file, and if not, just save it as a JPEG and go here to camera raw preferences and choose JPEG support. Automatically open all JPEGs, and that should open it as it should open it in camera raw. Now let's go here, and here what you can do is just change a bit maybe the tint and the temperature. I'm gonna add more clarity to the image to give more contrast, maybe some light on the shadows, drop the highlights, and maybe increase a bit the vibrance. And of course, with the HSL, you can change the tones of this, the saturation, the luminance, all of that. Skin tones, I'm gonna make them brighter a bit. I'm not gonna play too much with the hues because I'm gonna edit that on camera calibration. What else? A hue for the shadows, something a bit more bluish, and for the highlights, something more yellow like that. And now I'm gonna go to effects and add a bit of vignetting, midpoint, and increase the feather to 100% and the highlights as well. And here on the camera calibration, you can change the tones of the image. See that? It's just like using the channel mixer. In Photoshop, it's a lot easier. And I'm gonna leave it right over there, like that. And probably with a gradient, with a radial gradient, I'm gonna create more light over her face. If you have Lightroom, you can do it in Lightroom. It's just exactly the same. So you can see that over there, a bit of exposure, and drop the highlights a bit. And even more clarity. And I'm gonna click OK, and you'll see the before and after. See? Before camera raw and after camera raw. And let me show you the original image. We started with this and we ended up with this. So not really complicated. I did this really quick. With a bit more of time, you can get a better result. I'm gonna group everything and show you the original. Okay, so this was my original edit. Let me show hide all layers and show hide all layers again. Okay, so this is the effect that I got. It has some more greenish tints, and I made some dodging and burning, and on the eye some basic retouching, and you can see the before and after. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you find this technique interesting. I'd like to see your edits. So if you publish on Instagram, use the hashtag PSDbox, as well as on Facebook. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this new tutorial, and we'll see you next time.